Welcome to the Bookworm Duo, where we explore a variety of books. Let's get started.
Sounds good to me.
Today, we're diving into the world of Quicksilver,
Okay.
the first book in Callie Hart's The Fae Alchemy series.
All right.
Buckle up for a thrilling ride through a world of magic, betrayal, and unexpected twists.
Definitely. It pulls you in from the very first page. We meet Ceres Fane, a thief with a knack for trouble.
Ooh.
In the city of Zilverin, she's caught trying to steal a pretty important magical gauntlet.
Uh-oh. Not a good idea, I'm guessing.
Definitely not a good idea in a city ruled by a queen known for her iron fist.
Yeah, I can imagine that didn't go over so well.
Not really.
Zilverin sounds like the kind of place where you don't want to end up on the wrong side of the law. So what happens? Does she get thrown in a dungeon?
Well, Ceres is resourceful, you see.
Okay.
She tries to melt down the gauntlet, hoping to escape notice, but that's when things get a little unexpected.
Oh.
She discovers that she can manipulate metal with her mind. It's a small thing at first, but it hints at a power she doesn't understand yet.
Okay, that's intriguing. So we have a thief with hidden magical abilities.
Yeah.
This is where things start to get interesting.
It turns out Ceres is an alchemist, someone who can manipulate Quicksilver, which is the source of magic in this world. It's a rare and powerful gift, and it throws her into a world of danger and intrigue she never could have imagined.
So she stumbles onto this incredible power, but she's in the middle of a city where magic is probably frowned upon, to say the least. What does she do?
Well, things escalate pretty quickly. She ends up killing a guard in self-defense.
Oh, no.
And that seals her fate. She's captured, brought before the queen, who reveals a startling truth.
Oh.
The Fae, beings of myth and legend, are real, and they want Ceres dead.
Wait, the Fae? I thought they were just stories. This is a whole new level of complication. Why do they want her dead?
Yeah.
What's the connection to her being an alchemist?
That's the mystery that unfolds throughout the story. The queen doesn't reveal all her cards, but it's clear that Ceres' abilities are somehow tied to the Fae and their world. Ceres is sentenced to death, which in Zilverin is pretty much a guarantee.
So she's about to meet her end, but I have a feeling there's more to the story. Does she actually die?
Well, the execution is carried out, but there's a twist. A mysterious Fae warrior named Kingfisher intervenes, saving Ceres at the last moment.
Wow.
It turns out that her execution was a ruse, a way to transport her to Yvalia, the Fae realm.
Wow, that's a pretty dramatic way to make an entrance into a new world. Death, Fae warriors, secret plots. This is getting intense.
Yeah.
So she finds herself in Yvalia, but why? What do these Fae want with her?
In Yvalia, Ceres learns the true extent of her abilities.
Okay.
She's not just an alchemist, she's the key to reopening the gateways between realms. Gateways that have been sealed for centuries. Kingfisher needs her help to end a brewing war between the Fae and Zilverin.
Hold on, she's the key to ending a war. That's a pretty huge responsibility for someone who was just a thief trying to survive on the streets of Zilverin. How does she handle this sudden shift in her destiny?
Well, remember, Ceres is a thief at heart.
Right.
She's resourceful, quick-witted, and not one to back down from a challenge, but she's also wary of those in power, especially after her experiences in Zilverin.
I can imagine she's not exactly thrilled about being a pawn in someone else's game. But she's in the Fae realm now, surrounded by magic and creatures she probably never even dreamed of. What's Yvalia like?
It's a world of beauty and wonder, but also danger and deception. The Fae court is a place of intricate politics, where alliances shift like the wind, and betrayal is always lurking around the corner. Ceres has to learn to navigate this treacherous landscape while trying to understand her own powers and the role she's meant to play.
It sounds like she's gone from the frying pan into the fire. From the brutal streets of Zilverin to the intrigue of the Fae court, that's quite a leap. And what about this Kingfisher character? Is he just using her, or is there something more to their connection?
That's one of the most intriguing aspects of the story. Their relationship is complex, fueled by tension, attraction, and the undeniable magic that binds them. They train together, facing dangerous creatures and uncovering hidden truths about Yvalia's past. But their journey is also fraught with secrets, conflicting loyalties, and a growing awareness of the dangerous forces at play.
Okay, so we have a powerful heroine with a mysterious past, a brooding Fae warrior, a war brewing between realms, and a whole lot of magic. Sounds like we're just getting started. What happens next in this wild ride?
So Ceres is stuck in this Fae realm, trying to figure out her place in all of this.
Yeah.
She's got this incredibly powerful ability, but she's surrounded by all these people who might want to use her for their own ends.
Yes.
What does she do? Does she try to play along, or does she rebel against the Fae's plans?
Ceres is not one to be easily controlled.
Okay.
She's constantly testing boundaries, pushing back against expectations, doesn't blindly trust anyone.
Especially not in the Fae court where deception seems to be a way of life.
Right.
Remember, she's a survivor. She learned to rely on her wits and instincts in Zilverin, and those skills serve her well in Euvalia.
So she's not just going to be a puppet for the Fae. She's going to fight for her own agency, her own way of doing things. But she also has this connection with Kingfisher. How does their relationship develop amidst all this chaos and uncertainty?
Their relationship is a slow burn.
Okay.
Full of tension and unresolved feelings. They're drawn to each other, but there are so many obstacles between them.
Right.
Kingfisher is haunted by his past, burdened by secrets and responsibilities. He tries to push Ceres away, believing he's not good enough for her, that he'll only bring her harm.
It's that classic push and pull dynamic, isn't it? He's trying to protect her, but she's not the type to be pushed aside. How does she respond to his attempts to distance himself?
Ceres sees through his facade.
Okay.
She recognizes the pain he's hiding.
Right.
The good heart beneath the gruff exterior. She challenges him, pushes back against his defenses.
Yeah.
Their interactions are charged with this mixture of anger, frustration, and undeniable attraction.
Sounds intense.
They spar, they argue, they confide in each other, and slowly a bond begins to form between them.
So it's a relationship forged in fire. They're both facing these incredible challenges, both internally and externally, and they kind of find solace and strength in each other.
Yeah.
But this is more than just a romance, right? There's this looming war with Zilverin, and we haven't even talked about the vampires yet. How do they fit into all of this?
The vampires are a hidden threat.
Okay.
A lurking darkness that adds another layer of complexity to the story. Their king, Malcolm, is cunning and ruthless.
Oh.
He's pulling strings from behind the scenes, manipulating events to serve his own agenda. He sees Ceres as a powerful tool, a means to an end.
Okay.
And he'll stop at nothing to claim her for himself.
So we have warring Fae factions, a power-hungry vampire king, and our protagonists caught in the middle. The stakes keep getting higher. What kind of challenges do Ceres and Kingfisher face as they navigate this treacherous world?
They encounter all sorts of dangers.
Oh.
They face monstrous creatures in this labyrinth beneath the king's palace, navigate the treacherous Fae court where alliances are constantly shifting, and they try to uncover the truth about Malcolm's plans. They're constantly on the run, fighting for their lives and trying to understand their roles in this larger conflict.
It sounds like an epic adventure full of action, intrigue, and unexpected twists. Did they find any allies along the way?
They do.
Okay.
There's Renfis, Kingfisher's loyal friend and general, who provides support and guidance. There's also Lorith, a skilled warrior haunted by a tragic past.
Okay.
And a surprising addition from Ceres's past, Carrion.
Wait, Carrion.
Yeah.
The charming rogue with a knack for getting into trouble. What's he doing in the Fae realm?
It turns out Carrion has this hidden connection to Euvalia, a connection that adds another layer of intrigue to the story. He becomes an unexpected ally, provides comic relief and a fresh perspective as they journey deeper into danger.
So even in this dark and dangerous world, there's room for humor and camaraderie. It's good to know they're not completely alone in this fight. But what about Ceres's alchemy? Does she manage to master her powers?
Her control over her powers is a journey, not a destination.
Okay.
She struggles at first, but with Kingfisher's guidance, she learns to harness her abilities. Discovering that she's more than just an alchemist, she's a conduit.
A conduit. That sounds even more powerful than an alchemist. What does it mean to be a conduit?
It means Ceres can not only manipulate Quicksilver, but also channel its energy in extraordinary ways. She can create magical objects, heal, shield, and even communicate with the Quicksilver itself, seeking its guidance and unlocking its secrets.
That's incredible. It's like she's tapping into a source of power that goes beyond anything she ever imagined.
But with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Yeah.
How does she deal with the burden of this knowledge?
Ceres grapples with the ethical implications of her power. She's tempted to use it for revenge, for personal gain, but she also recognizes the potential for destruction.
Yeah.
It's a constant struggle for her to balance her desires with her sense of justice, her humanity, with her growing power.
So it's not just about mastering her abilities, it's about choosing how to use them, about staying true to herself in the face of this overwhelming power. That's a really compelling internal conflict. But what about the war between the Fae and Zilverin? Does that get resolved?
The war kind of takes a back seat to the larger threat of the vampires.
But it's always simmering beneath the surface. Cerys and Kingfisher realize that they need to find a way to unite the Fae if they're going to stand a chance against Malcolm and his horde. They have to overcome their own prejudices, their own history of conflict, and find common ground in the face of a shared enemy.
It's a reminder that even in the midst of chaos and darkness, there's always hope for unity and reconciliation. But what about the romance between Cerys and Kingfisher? Does it survive all of this turmoil?
Their relationship is this roller coaster ride of emotions. They're drawn to each other, but they're also afraid of the intensity of their connection, the power of this bond that's growing between them. Kingfisher continues to push Cerys away, believing that he's not worthy of her love and that he'll only bring her harm.
So it's the classic "I'm not good enough for you" trope, but with a magical twist. Does Cerys give up on him?
Cerys refuses to give up on Kingfisher.
Okay.
She sees the good in him, the hero beneath this gruff exterior, and she's determined to break through his walls and show him that he deserves to be loved. Their relationship is tested by betrayal, danger, and this ever-present threat of death. But it also grows stronger as they face these challenges together.
So love conquers all, even in a world of vampires and warring fae. But there's still this prophecy about the conduit and the king's son.
Yeah.
How does that play out?
The prophecy looms over everything, a constant reminder of the danger they face and the sacrifices they might have to make. Cerys learns more about her role as the conduit, discovering that her powers are connected to these ancient gateways and that she has the ability to either restore balance to the world or destroy it entirely.
Wow. Talk about pressure. She's not just the key to ending the war, she's the key to the fate of the entire universe.
Exactly. And she has to make these difficult choices, to weigh the needs of the many against her own desires, her own love for Kingfisher. The prophecy becomes this driving force, pushing them toward this final confrontation with Malcolm and forcing them to confront their own destinies.
This is getting really exciting. I can't wait to hear what happens next. But I think we need to pause here for now. Our listeners are probably on the edge of their seats, needing a moment to process all of this information.
You're right. We've covered a lot of ground and the story just keeps getting more intense.
Yeah.
Join us in part 3, where we'll delve into the climax of Quicksilver and reveal the shocking twists and turns that await Cerys and Kingfisher as they face their ultimate challenge. Last we left off, Cerys and Kingfisher were facing these impossible odds,
Right.
caught between warring Fae factions and the looming threat of this vampire king.
Yeah.
There was also this prophecy hanging over them, hinting at a major sacrifice.
Right. So what happens next?
The tension really ratchets up in this final part.
Okay.
The prophecy becomes central to the narrative, pushing Cerys and Kingfisher towards a final confrontation with Malcolm.
All right.
They journey deep into the labyrinth beneath the king's palace,
Okay.
guided by Cerys' connection to the Quicksilver.
So her powers are acting as a compass, leading them to their destiny. It sounds like a pretty perilous journey. What did they encounter along the way?
The labyrinth is a dangerous place, filled with all sorts of creatures and traps.
Yeah.
But the real surprise comes when they discover that Malcolm has imprisoned both the queen and the king,
What?
forcing them to aid his plans.
Hold on. The queen and the king are prisoners. I thought they were working with Malcolm. This changes everything. What's his endgame? What is he hoping to achieve by controlling the gateways?
Malcolm's motives are shrouded in mystery.
Okay.
But it's clear he craves power, like on a cosmic scale. He wants to reshape the universe according to his own, twisted vision.
Right.
And Cerys, as the conduit, is the key to his plans.
This is getting pretty intense. So Cerys and Kingfisher are facing not only Malcolm, but also the combined forces of the Fae realms, albeit unwillingly. What happens when they finally confront Malcolm?
The confrontation is epic.
Okay.
Like a whirlwind of magic, swordplay, and shifting alliances. Cerys taps into the full potential of her conduit powers, wielding the Quicksilver with incredible skill and precision.
Okay.
Kingfisher, despite his inner turmoil, fights with unwavering determination, protecting Cerys and challenging Malcolm's control over the gateways.
So this is where we see their relationship truly tested, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're fighting side by side, relying on each other for survival, their bond deepening amidst the chaos. But what about the prophecy? Does it come into play during this final battle?
It does, in kind of a heartbreaking way. As the battle rages, a powerful vampire lord steps in to protect Cerys, sacrificing himself to give her a chance to escape. It's this noble act, but it comes at a terrible cost. Cerys is mortally wounded.
Oh no, so the prophecy comes true. Cerys is the one who has to die.
This is where Quicksilver subverts expectations. Kingfisher, desperate to save Cerys, is willing to break his promise and use his forbidden Fae powers to heal her, even though it could cost him his soul.
Right.
But Cerys refuses to let him make that sacrifice.
That's a huge moment. She chooses to die rather than condemn the man she loves to an eternity of suffering. It's a real testament to the depth of their love, their willingness to put each other's needs above their own. But does this mean she actually dies? Does the book end on such a tragic note?
Hold on to your hats, because things get really interesting here. As Cerys drifts towards death, she's pulled into the Quicksilver, transported to a realm beyond the physical world.
Wow.
There, she encounters Zareth, the god of chaos, who reveals the true nature of her destiny and the role she plays in the grand scheme of the universe.
Whoa, she meets a god. This is taking a real cosmic turn. What does Zareth tell her? Why was she chosen to be the conduit? What's her purpose in all of this?
Zareth explains that Cerys' very existence, her connection to Kingfisher, disrupts the balance of the universe, creating a catalyst for chaos and change. Her choices, her actions will have far-reaching consequences, not just for the Fae and humans, but for the very fabric of existence.
So it's even bigger than just saving the realms. She's at the center of a cosmic struggle between order and chaos. That's a lot of pressure for one person to bear. What does she do with this knowledge? What choice does she make?
Cerys faces an impossible dilemma. She can choose to embrace her role as the conduit, wield the power of chaos, and potentially reshape the universe. Or she can sacrifice herself, sever her connection to Kingfisher, and restore balance, even if it means losing everything she loves. The book ends on a cliffhanger, leaving us to wonder what choice she made, what the consequences will be.
That's such a tantalizing ending. I need to know what happens next. But for now, we reached the end of our deep dive into Quicksilver. It's been quite a journey filled with magic, adventure, and a whole lot of heart. Any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
Quicksilver is a story that stays with you. It's about love, sacrifice, and the struggle to find your place in a world that's constantly shifting. It's also a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's always hope. And even the smallest choices can have this ripple effect across the universe.
Thanks for joining us. Subscribe for more bookish adventures and hit that like button if you enjoyed the ride. Don't forget to share the knowledge, spread the word.